I accepted the wire transfer knowing what it meant. People think I sold my dignity, that a man purchased my disappearance. They're not wrong, but they don't know what I actually surrendered. My mother died thinking I was a failed nursing student. My fiancé left when rumors started. Emma believes her biological mother died in childbirth. I let those lies stand because the truth was worse. What nobody gets is why I sought him out. The money was punctuation at the end of a sentence. I started 14 years ago. By the time you finish this, you'll understand why I said I could be a sugar baby again, and why he paid me to vanish. 31 and measuring my worth in unpaid medical invoices. Mom's experimental cancer treatment cost $32,000 my bank account couldn't spell. My catering business had flatlined 6 months prior, leaving me with banned posters on my bedroom wall and a ghost. That ghost was the sugar baby I'd been at 22, the girl who traded steak dinners for student loan payments. I told myself she was dead until desperation became a resurrection spell. I edited my old profile at 2 a.m., shaved 3 years off my age, called myself a nursing student. Marcus found me by morning. His photo showed hands that worked despite wealth, a face that wore authority comfortably. 48, divorced, seeking sophisticated companionship. We met at a restaurant where the menu hid prices like secrets. You're strategic, not desperate, he observed over oysters. I said I could be a sugar baby again, I reminded him. That phrase became our handshake. He gave me $3,200 cash after our second dinner, called it a study grant. I told Mom I'd booked a corporate catering gig. She was too exhausted from chemo to question the math. Our arrangement crystallized $5,000 monthly, 10 hours of my company. The first crack showed when his phone lit up with a text I wasn't meant to see. Emma asked about you again. The second crack was the locked archive room in his penthouse. The third was how he answered, no family worth mentioning when I asked. The breaking point arrived via insurance denial text in a hospital parking lot. Marcus's message appeared as I cried into my steering wheel, let me carry this. I replied, I said I could be a sugar baby again, didn't I? That night he gave me a credit card with my name embossed on it, and I gave him the version of me that didn't ask what Emma's last name was. When his key clicked onto my ring, it sounded exactly like the adoption papers I'd signed at 16. Some doors only open from the outside. The first transgression was the nursing program itself. I stopped attending anatomy lectures, but kept the tuition money Marcus provided, telling myself I'd re-enroll next semester when Mom was stable. The second was the fiancé I'd failed to mention. David proposed 3 weeks before Mom's diagnosis, a modest ring and a plan for a modest life. I never took the ring off around Marcus, just turned it around so the diamond cut into my palm. The third was Emma's Instagram account, which I found through a reverse image search of Marcus's phone background. She was 16, lived with her mother Claire, posted poetry about missing fathers and photographs of a girl who looked like my own baby pictures. Marcus noticed my distraction during our 4th month. I developed a system Wednesdays and Saturdays at his penthouse, the rest of my week divided between hospital visits and lying to David about study groups. You're not present, Marcus said, and he was right. I was counting Emma's freckles through a screen. He increased my allowance to 7,000. Whatever you need, he murmured, and I realized he thought my distance was a negotiation tactic. I let him believe it. The small consequence arrived as a text from David, your study group is lying. I saw you, downtown, in a car I've never seen. I told him it was in Uber Black for an important interview. He believed me because he wanted to, because the alternative was a truth that would break his accountant's heart. I rationalized that I was protecting him from the messiness of medical debt, that my body was just collateral, that temporary transactions didn't count as betrayal. When Marcus asked me to accompany him to a gala, I bought a gown with his money and told David I was attending a nursing conference. The dramatic irony was thick enough to choke on while I pinned up my hair for Marcus. Emma posted a photo of herself in a similar hairstyle, captioned, "Wish you were here, Dad." Claire's message came at 11:47 p.m., a Thursday. I know what you are, it read, attached to a photo of me leaving Marcus's building, his key visible in my hand. Stay away from my daughter. I deleted it, blocked the number, and told myself she was just an ex-wife with leverage issues. The next morning, Mom's nurse asked about my new job. You seem stressed, she observed, watching me flinch at my buzzing phone. Rich people are demanding, I replied, which wasn't exactly a lie. The deeper culpability I need to confess isn't that I was sleeping with Marcus for money while engaged to David. It's that I'd recognized his name the moment it appeared in my inbox. 14 years ago, when I was 17 and pregnant, the adoption agency showed me 3 family profiles. One was a single man in his 30s, a finance executive named Marcus Cheney who wanted to adopt a baby girl. I chose a different couple, younger, more traditional, but I remembered his name. And when I saw it again on that sugar baby site, I didn't scroll past. I clicked. I messaged first. The truth bomb detonated slowly. Claire unblocked herself and sent a follow-up message. Emma has a genetic condition. Marcus adopted her knowing it would be hard. He doesn't need distractions. Emma, my Emma, the name I'd given my baby before I signed her away. My hands shook so badly I dropped my phone on the bathroom tile. The screen cracked, but I could still read the message. I ran a DNA test through a service I'd seen advertised, using a hair I'd stolen from Marcus's brush and a sample of my own. The results would take 2 weeks. In the meantime, I did something unforgivable. I went to Emma's school. I parked across the street at 3 p.m. and watched the dismissal swarm. She walked out with a boy in a band t-shirt, laughing at something he said. She had my nose, my father's dark hair, Marcus's confident stride. I took a photograph, which made me the kind of woman who photographs minors from parked cars. When Marcus asked where I'd been, I told him I'd been dress shopping. He didn't question the sweat on my upper lip or the tremor in my hands. The first significant relationship damage came from David, not Marcus. He'd hired someone, a pie or maybe just a determined friend with time. He presented me with photos, me and Marcus at the gala, me leaving the penthouse at 2 a.m., me shopping with a credit card that wasn't mine. Is this strategic too? He asked, the engagement ring he'd given me now a weapon. I couldn't deny it. Left my apartment, left my life, left Mom's number blocked on his phone. I told her he'd gotten cold feet and she patted my hand with fingers swollen from chemo. Men are cowards, she said, and I let her think I was the victim. Claire discovered the rest. She had access to Marcus's phone records through some parental monitoring app still linked to his account. She saw I'd been at Emma's school. Her next message was simple: DNA test is a waste of money. I know you're her biological mother. Marcus deserves better than a grifter with a womb. I didn't sleep for 3 days. On the 4th, Mom fell in the bathroom and I had to call an ambulance. While she was being wheeled into the ER, my phone buzzed. The DNA results: 99.7 match. Emma was mine. The consequences multiplied like cancer cells. Mom's fall required surgery, which required more money, which required more of Marcus's time. He was happy to pay, happier still when I became emotionally available, in ways I hadn't been before. The truth was, I was studying Emma through him, asking casual questions about fatherhood that he answered with surprising vulnerability. Emma's mother couldn't handle her diagnosis, he told me one night, referring to Claire. She left when Emma was 4. I raised her alone until I met someone who could love her completely. He meant me. The irony was digestive. The situation spiraled when Claire escalated from text to phone calls. She'd been drinking, her voice slurred and brutal. You think I don't know you took a hair from his brush? You think I don't have cameras in that building? I hung up, called the building's front desk pretending to be a resident, and learned there were no cameras in the residential floors. She was bluffing, but the seed was planted. I stopped going to Marcus's place, suggested hotels instead. He thought it was kinky. I thought it was survival. My worst decision yet came at 3 a.m. after Mom's surgery. Claire's final message had included a document, Emma's original birth certificate, the one with my name as Mother Jane Doe, age 17. I'd been so careful, used a fake name, thought I'd buried it forever. But closed adoptions aren't coffins, they're locked doors with multiple keys. Someone at the agency had kept records. Claire had bought them. I drove to Marcus's penthouse, drunk on panic and painkillers from the hospital, and did what I swore I wouldn't. I told him everything, almost everything. I confessed to the sugar baby past, to David, to the financial desperation. I did not confess to Emma. I said Claire was an angry ex-wife making threats. Marcus held me while I cried, then transferred $50,000 to my account. Take your mother somewhere for treatment. Get away from this woman. I'll handle Claire. He thought he was my savior. I knew I was his plague. The breadcrumb about the ultimate secret came as a postscript to his money transfer. A note that read, there are things about Emma's adoption you could never find in records, things that would change why you should stay away. I told myself it was more manipulation, but I saved the note. The final hook in a story I couldn't stop telling. I unraveled across 4 seasons while Mom wasted through 2. Marcus's money bought experimental treatments that failed anyway. His presence in my life became a constant I didn't deserve. Emma turned 17 and posted about learning to drive. I taught myself to bake her favorite cake from a photo, then threw it away untouched. Marcus proposed a trip to his coastal house, just us, and I packed a bag with clothes I couldn't afford. The dramatic irony was that while he planned a future, I was planning a confession. The major confrontation came from the adoption agency. A social worker called, voice careful and professional. We understand you've been in contact with the adoptive family. This violates the closed adoption agreement. I denied it. She sent an email with timestamps, my IP address accessing Emma's social media, my location data near her school. I was facing legal action. I told Marcus I needed to focus on mom's care. He increased my allowance to $10,000 a month and said, let me handle it. He thought money could solve everything. My support system crumbled when mom's pastor visited and asked about my new friend. I broke down, told him Marcus was helping with bills. He looked at me the way people look at cracked dishes. There are programs, he said. God's help doesn't require compromising yourself. I stopped answering his calls. Then mom's best friend showed up with a casserole and suspicion, having seen me in Marcus's Porsche. Your mother thinks you're dating a doctor, she said. I let her believe it. The lies were stacking like bricks, building a wall between me and everyone who mattered. Someone got hurt by my continued deception. It wasn't Claire who thrived on the drama. It was Emma. She posted a photo of herself crying, captioned, sometimes family is just DNA and disappointment. Marcus called me frantic. Claire told her about the DNA test. She thinks I'm hiding her biological mother from her. My silence on the phone must have been damning. You knew, he whispered. All this time you knew. I hung up. Mom found me on the kitchen floor, shaking. What have you done? She asked. I told her nothing, and she believed me because she needed to. The direct question I had to answer came from Marcus at the hospital. Mom had just been moved to hospice. He appeared in the hallway, looking like he'd aged a decade. Did you seek me out because of Emma? I could have lied, should have lied, but I was so tired. Yes, I whispered. He nodded, face crumbling. Your mother doesn't know, does she? I shook my head. He pulled out his phone, tapped the screen, and showed me a wire transfer confirmation. 7 figures. This is for you to disappear. Forever. No contact. No looking back. If you love her, you'll take it and go. The full confession begins with the money hitting my account. $700,000. More than mom's treatments, more than my lost business, more than the price of silence. He included a contract drafted by his lawyer's non-disclosure. No contact, violation penalties that would bankrupt me. I signed it with a pen he provided, there in the hospital lobby, my mother dying 3 floors above us. The most damning detail wasn't the amount. It was the memo line, for services rendered and future absence. He was buying back the time I'd stolen. The real truth, the one that reframes everything, is this: 14 years ago when I was pregnant, I didn't just pick any family. I picked Marcus specifically. I saw his profile, his kind eyes, his single status. But the agency said he'd been chosen by another birth mother, so I selected a different couple. But I never forgot his name. And when I saw it again on that sugar baby site, it wasn't coincidence. It was providence I manufactured. I searched for him. I created the profile he would want. I said I could be a sugar baby again because I knew that was his type: damaged girls with pretty smiles and no expectations. I engineered our meeting. He paid me to leave because I told him the full truth in that hospital hallway after Mom took her last breath at 3 a.m. I confessed that I'd known about Emma from day one, that I'd taken the hair for the DNA test, that I'd stalked her school, that I'd lied about everything. He listened, his face going from horror to a kind of exhausted understanding. You could have just told me, he said. I would have let you know her properly. But I couldn't risk it. Couldn't risk him saying no. So I took the route that guaranteed access, even if it was in shadows. The immediate fallout was physical. He took his key back, of course, but he also had his lawyer send a cease and desist to Claire for violating the adoption closure. He protected me even as he paid me to vanish. Emma was told her biological mother had died in a car accident years ago, a story that would prevent her from searching. He sent me a final email: the money is for your grief. Use it to build something that isn't built on ghosts. Emma will never know your name, that's the price. The real truth that changes everything came 6 months later. A letter arrived at my new apartment, no return address. Inside was a photograph from the adoption agency, 14 years old. Me pregnant, reading Marcus's profile. On the back, his handwriting. They sent me the photos of birth mothers who considered me. I kept yours. When you messaged me, I recognized you. I waited for you to tell me. You never did. The money isn't for leaving, it's for starting over. Emma knows nothing. But I needed you to know that I would have chosen you then, and I was choosing you now. just not the way either of us deserved. The concrete fallout arrived in 4 packages. First, my mother's estate lawyer contacted me about unpaid medical bills Marcus's money had covered. I paid them in full, which made him suspicious about my sudden wealth. Second, my nursing school expelled me for non-attendance, marking my transcript permanently. Third, David reached out through a friend wanting closure. I sent him a check for the engagement ring and a note that said, "I was never who you thought I was." He deposited the check. Fourth and most quietly, Emma's Instagram account went private. Her last public post read, "Sometimes the people you want to meet most are the ones you're better off never finding." I took it personally, which was narcissistic, but grief makes everything about you. My reputation in my old circles evaporated. Marcus's lawyer had been thorough but not cruel. The story that emerged was that I'd been a paid companion who got too attached, that he'd paid me to leave gracefully. The sugar baby details were whispered but never confirmed. I became a cautionary tale for women who aimed too high. My mother's pastor prayed for my soul publicly. I checked out of my life like a hotel I couldn't afford. The unexpected consequence I didn't anticipate was the money itself. It sat in a high-yield account, accruing interest I didn't spend. Every dollar felt like a brick in a wall between me and Emma. I couldn't use it for something frivolous because that would dishonor the sacrifice. I couldn't use it for something meaningful because nothing mattered more than her. So it sat, a 7-figure reminder of my cowardice. A moment of genuine self-awareness broke through when I saw Emma post about her college acceptance. She photographed the letter, her hand steady, her future bright. I realized I'd been waiting for her to turn 18, to reach out to say, now I can tell her. But Marcus's money had bought more than my absence. It had bought my silence, and I'd been honoring that contract in my heart even if no court could enforce it. I'd taken the money because I was afraid of being rejected by the daughter I'd already given away once. I now live in a coastal town 2,000 miles away, work as a bookkeeper for a marina, and check Emma's social media through a dummy account. She starts college next month. I have not touched the money. The reason I'm confessing this now is simple. Emma posted yesterday. Not poetry, not a selfie. A question: does anyone know how to find closed adoption records? I think I'm ready. She's 18, legal, searching, and I'm sitting on $700,000 and a truth that could either complete her or destroy her. The promise I made in the opening was that you'd understand why I said I could be a sugar baby again. It wasn't about the money. It was about proximity. I wanted to be near her without being responsible. I wanted to see what I'd given up without having to earn it. Marcus understood that before I did. His payment was a kindness, a way to sever the thread cleanly. I took it because I was too much of a coward to be her mother. What I've learned is that some prices you pay in increments, and some you pay all at once. I paid the lump sum of my motherhood for my mother's medical bills, for my own desperation, for the chance to be close without being known. The moral ambiguity isn't whether I was wrong. I was. It's whether, given the same choice, I'd do it differently. Knowing Emma is happy, safe, loved, would I disrupt that for my own need to be seen? The money sits in its account, a test I'm afraid to pass or fail. I'll end with this. Yesterday, I filled out the form to contact the adoption agency. I have the check from Marcus ready to return, voided. I don't know if I'll send it. Maybe the price of disappearing forever is that you actually have to stay gone. Or maybe the price of being a mother, even a biological ghost of one, is that you never really stop paying. You tell me which is worse, taking money to leave, or having the money and still wanting to knock on a door you closed yourself.